one, go. Welcome everybody to Geekvice episode 283, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. My name's Morph, that man's Kip. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening.
We are back for week 2 of the official quarantine. We're stuck in our houses, working from our basements or kitchen tables, depending on who you are. How are you doing in these rough quarantined times, Mr. Kip?
Well, to be honest, other than not going to work, nothing has really changed because I really didn't leave the house all that often anyway.
Yeah.
We had a virtual Whiskey Wednesday last night.
Nice. That's
We do
why we
Whiskey
didn't record
Wednesdays at
last
work.
night.
Can't do that in person, so we did it virtually. The problem with doing it virtually is the whiskey goes down faster than you realize.
Well, and you don't have to worry about driving home, so
Exactly.
then like your limits go away.
Yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed how drunk I got last night. So
Which is why we didn't record last night, but thanks to the quarantine, Kip is not going to tabletop games and hobbies because they are closed, and to play board games, so we get to record tonight. So
yeah,
that's
silver
one
linings.
advantage. Yeah, one advantage to the quarantine is that we now have more evenings where we're not going anywhere. So yeah, we can record on other nights. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. The one difference that I have, or the one thing that I've noticed with this quarantine, is we are eating out a lot less. So, and we're cooking more, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Just because now we have time. I get done with work at 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever. Then we can goof off with the kids, hang out. We've been working on soccer skills. Still trying to get my coaching creds done, and then we still have time to fix dinner. And like we actually tonight we laid in bed and watched Swamp People before the kids went to bed. Watched it with the kids, and this one was more than just alligator hunting. This was normally the show takes place in Louisiana. They did alligator hunting in Mississippi, which apparently the laws are different on how you can hunt for them. So they actually have to use a rod and reel, and so it makes them a lot harder to catch. And you have to do it. I don't know if you have to do it at night or it's just easier at night because they are out and more active at night than they are during the day. So if you're gonna use a rod and reel, you need to be able to see them, so they need to be more active. But
I
if
can't
it's,
imagine catching something of that size with a rod and reel.
I know, right? So the way, like, there was only one group that was doing it, and he was having a hard time too, like, because you basically are putting this big like treble hook on the end of your reel with like massive hook, and it's like a 200-300 pound test line.
It'd have to be.
Yeah. And so you see the alligator up above, like sitting above the water, basically its head above the water, and then you cast over the top of it, and then bring the hook back into it to catch it, and then you reel it into the boat. And when it gets close enough to the boat, you throw like another line out there, like that's not on a reel. That's more of a, it looks more like a rope that it's attached to
Yeah, I bet.
than a fishing line. And yeah, it was crazy, man. That was well, and they were in Mississippi, so there was a lot of Asian carp in the area they were at. So as they're like driving their boat to try to find these gators. Like there are carp like jumping across the boat. One of them smacked one of the girls in the face. Didn't like was more like a glancing blow, but you could see it. Like the camera comes to her and she's just like her face is dripping and the front of her shirt is just soaked from where this fish just went whack. Like, oh man. And then of course the mosquitoes and everything are out at night, and like one of the it's a guy and a girl that were doing it, and one of them like a bug like flies up her nose and she's there trying to like get it out, and then one like while he's like making fun of her for that, it like flies into his mouth and he starts choking on it.
Oh, jeez.
Like, oh man, they were having all kinds of problems, but it was funny to watch. So there was that one. They also had a group that was fishing for redfish, and they were bow hunting for redfish at night, which was kind of cool to watch them do that. And then another group was fishing for what was it? It's a type of fish that almost looks like it's almost like half fish, half alligator.
Gar?
Gar, that's what it was. Gar. So they were fishing for that, and then another group was fishing for shrimp. They were shrimping with the big shrimp boat, and so it was kind of cool. You got to see a little bit of the different stuff, and it's the same guys. It's like they go alligator fishing during the day, and then they do this stuff at night. It's like these guys don't sleep.
Apparently not.
All to put food on the table. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. You know, that show is way more educational and entertaining than you would really think. But
Well, you don't think educational from a show called Swamp People.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, they talk you through like I mean, bow fishing for fish. You know, I've seen it. I've seen people do it. I know people that have tried it. But the guy's walking you through like, hey, you know, you got to get. It takes a lot of practice to be able to do this. You think it's easy to just walk out there, shoot it, see a fish in the water, and shoot it. But if you shoot at the fish where it's in the water, you're gonna miss. One, the fish is gonna move, and two, the water refracts the light, and so the fish looks like it's higher than what it is. So you've got to shoot below the fish, and you got to shoot below it and ahead of it because it's gonna go the moment that the arrows hits the water. And so it was really interesting to watch them do it, and you know, kind of the same way Deadliest Catch is educational on what you're looking for crab, and how you tell the difference between different types of crab. They did the same kind of thing with the shrimp, and just like how do you go and get the, you know, it's not Learning Channel level of walking you through each of the bits of it, but it's enough to go, oh, that's how that's done. Kind of cool. So, you know.
Yeah, if I'm ever let out of my house, maybe I'll try it.
Right?
I probably won't, but it sounded good.
But yeah, so that's our quarantine time. Still lots of soccer practices. Got the kids practicing soccer every day. Working on our new skills. So, yeah. What else you been up to? Anything fun?
Oh, is there anything fun to do? I've been trying to maintain exercise, so I've been going for walks.
Yeah, that's got to be the really hard part.
You know, you kind of feel guilty, like maybe I shouldn't be out here, but if you practice social distancing, I guess you're okay, because I don't touch anything.
Right.
I don't walk with anybody I don't know.
Yeah.
I give wide berth to anybody that I pass, so I think I'm doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We've so the last couple days we've gone on bike rides. Like one day, Amber took the two kids and went on a bike ride while I was finishing up work, and then yesterday I took the kids while she was finishing up stuff. Actually, I think she was fixing dinner, and the number of people outside is kind of astonishing. I see more families. We used to do bike rides and get out and do stuff even before this quarantine. But now, like, seeing people, the number of people out riding bikes or walking or playing in their backyard is way more than there was before. And I think some of it is because people are stuck inside with their kids all day. They're like, we need to get you guys out and running around, so that forces them to get out and do active stuff. But then also because of the quarantine and the social distancing, they're not going and doing things like going to the park and playing on the playground or taking their kids to go see this or go do that. They're playing at their house, and so, or out on the
Yeah.
trails and things like that.
Yeah, one of the things the wife and I talk about is, what are the positives that could come out of this? And one of them is, of course, what you just talked about, families actually getting to be families.
Yeah.
You don't have, well, I don't have time, I have to go to work, blah, blah, blah. There you are.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, and I don't want to get into this, but it's just something I want to bring up is I hope people learn that we can do more things ourselves than we thought we could.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you're going to have to.
Yep. Yep. No, I completely agree. Completely agree on that. It's kind of even just a little bit of the um not just that you can do things, but also like, hey, take some time to enjoy the moments,
Yes.
because you don't know. This has never happened in our lifetimes ever before, or in our parents' lifetimes, or even in their parents' lifetime. And um, it gets you to stop and think and yeah, just enjoy the moment, enjoy what you have. Don't worry about the stuff that you don't have, and don't like don't panic buy.
Yes, that's another thing. Holy shit, people, come on.
Yeah,
But
we
what I hope we do learn is when I say we can do things ourselves, we control more of our lives than we realize.
yeah,
We're not as dependent on the government as we think we are.
yeah.
Who's going to fix this pandemic? We are.
Yeah.
We're doing
Oh
it
yeah.
now.
That is exactly right. And I hope people take it seriously too. I mean, we talk about the shit that we're doing and all that kind of stuff, but we are, yeah, same thing. Going on bike rides is not against the quarantine. That's, you got to get out and be active. You still got to get out and do stuff. But you just got to be smart about it.
Yeah, because this is not an airborne problem,
No.
thankfully.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would be stuck in the house and not being able to go anywhere.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Luckily, this is a contact thing, and if we're smart, we can save a lot of lives. And
Yeah.
that's the way I look at things. Yeah, I'm at home. Boo hoo for me. This is where I always wanted to be anyway.
Yeah.
You know, this is where my PS4 is. This is where my wife is. My cats
Yeah.
does not suck.
No. No, it doesn't. And you can still get stuff delivered to your house, which is always really nice too. Like, that's been the fun part. I think that's been actually the funnest part of this quarantine. Funnest, most fun, whatever the right word is there. Um,
Who cares?
we order a lot of our stuff. Maybe not all of it, but we order a lot of stuff off Amazon anyway. And it's hilarious because now it's like, oh, well, we need this, so we'll order it, and we'll order this, and we'll order that. So it's like every day Amazon comes and delivers stuff to our house. So like, I feel like I should get on a first name basis with the delivery person, but it's a different person every time. I don't know.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of packages lately ourselves. One of them surprised me. I ordered it back in late February, I think, and it wasn't supposed to show up until like mid-April,
Yeah.
and it showed up the other day.
Oh wow.
It's a baby Yoda.
Oh, there you go.
So he showed up the other day. So my wife was pretty happy about that. I
Nice.
figured with everything that's going on, we weren't going to see that thing for a while. It showed
Yeah,
up. So
that's cool. Yeah, no, our stuff is like, well, we get a lot of, we actually get a lot of our, not a lot of groceries, we get a lot of non-perishable stuff um, like applesauce and fruit leather and things like that that come in the mail, or that, come through Amazon, dog food and um, toilet paper and paper towels, but we're pretty good on those. We don't really need to worry about that because when you order those through the Amazon like grocery subscription thing, you have to buy them by like the case and not by the package. So when I order toilet paper, I get 4 packages with what does it got? 12 rolls in each package, so I get 4 of those each time I order stuff. So I got quite a bit of that. We're still good. I don't have to worry about that. Same with paper towels. Like you just get massive amounts of them when you order it because it's like buying it bulk. It's like buying it from Sam's or Costco or whatever. So
yeah, what's funny about us and the toilet paper thing is our one closet is where my wife puts the toilet paper, and it always looks like we have like 40 rolls in there.
yeah,
And she's always like, "Oh, I got to get more toilet paper." It's like, really? It seems like we have 6 months supply in there already. So just before the panic buying started, she bought another pack. So
yeah,
we're good. We're
yeah.
good for a long time.
So speaking of stuff that comes in the mail, um, so my wife decided she was gonna try to surprise me for Father's Day, but she had to order it early because and it still could be gone. We're supposed to be gone in Spain during Father's Day, and so she was working on trying to get this present for me, and she reached out to some people to get some stuff, and it took a little while, but it finally came in the mail today. You got any guesses on what it might be there, Mr. Kip? You thought you had an idea before the show. Do
Oh,
you think you might know who it came from?
who it came from?
Yeah, cuz it came from some good friends of ours.
Huh. Yeah, I was totally. I thought it was gonna be like a big Lego thing. Oh, look at that.
I've got this came in the box with it.
Did you get the wooden box?
Look at that bad boy
Oh, I am
right
totally
there.
jealous. That is awesome.
It's got the company store on it. It's got the Flapjacks and Sasquatch on it. It's got the Cup of Joe on it. Oh my goodness, dude, this box is awesome. Our boys at Prolific Games hooked me up. And look at this. I've already got them. I've already got my games put in here. Fits
Sweet.
perfectly. Um, the one challenge that I have right now. So I got the metal dice and I got this box for all my games. My one challenge right now is I've got to find a place to put my wooden nickels.
Put the wooden nickels. Yep.
The dice will fit in one of the boxes, so that's not a problem. But I need to find a place for wooden nickels, and I think there might be just enough room if I take them out of the bag that they're in, and maybe put them in something a little bit different. I think I might be able to get them to fit in one of the boxes, or just readjust them a little bit. But I think I can get them to fit within this box. So then when it's time to go play Flapjacks and Sasquatches somewhere, I just grab my nice big box, and I mean, just that sitting on the table is just gonna be awesome.
That is so cool.
I am so stoked.
Congrats on that.
She and she eventually told me that it was coming because she was she was trying to talk to him and get a hold of him, and it was that was before all of this happened, and but those guys are so busy and so like going in all kinds of different directions. She was having troubles, and so she's like, I don't know if this is gonna happen or not. So she told me about it, and I'm like, well, if it happens, great. If not, no big deal. Like, if it comes down to it, where you really want, like, you're wanting to get a hold of them, like, let me know and I'll reach out to them. And then they've finally got in touch with her again, and it's like she got it all taken care of, all paid for, and sent here. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's
Hell yes.
awesome. So stoked, so happy. But there's one kind of scary thing to this. This is such an awesome Father's Day gift. I have to come up with an even better Mother's Day gift for her.
Yes.
So, and that, I got to get on that and figure that out soon, because, before you know it, Mother's Day is going to be here. And, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be. I have a couple of ideas. I'm going to see if I can't make them happen, but
Yeah, my
yeah.
guess was going to be like some giant Lego thing.
Man, that would have been
Yeah, like a
crazy
Death
too.
Star, or something like that. That's what I thought it was going to be.
So, speaking of that, have you seen the show Lego Masters, the new show on, I think it's on
I
CBS?
I've seen the advertisement for it, but I haven't watched the
You
show.
should watch it. I think they've got 2 or 3 episodes out. We have watched it. It is really freaking good. It is, and the stuff that those guys, those people they have on there building stuff, that is freaking amazing. Oh man, is it cool? Because they're making this stuff up from just their head. They're just looking at Legos going, "Okay, I got this idea and this is how I'm going to build it." They had to you would appreciate one, we're of course we're getting off topic here, but you would appreciate one of the episodes because it's bridge building. So they had to build a bridge that had to span these two posts basically. It had to be flush across the top so that there was, that was the height that it had to be at, and they had a time limit to build it, and then whoever's bridge held the most weight would win. Like,
That
okay,
does sound like,
yeah.
yeah.
So I
Working
was
in
like,
engineering, I would love to see that.
right. So I was like, okay, I kind of want to see what they're doing here. So I watched them build their bridges. I was like, okay, see what they're doing there. That one's not going to work very well. This one, I don't know. That stability's not. You can't leave a gap between your decking and your supports. Those need to be together. Though it's going to fail in the decking. And sure enough, those did. There was 2 people that. Well, actually, the very first person that they tested, the very first bridge that they tested, the bridge held so much weight that they actually ran out of weights that they thought these bridges would take.
No
So
kidding.
yeah, so they had to start taking weights that were holding camera equipment down and putting them on there. This bridge got up to what's 900 pounds, I think. Maybe even more. It might have been, because what's a ton's 2,000, right?
Yes.
I think they didn't get to a ton, but I want to say they broke 1,000 pounds and they had to stop, or they got it right to 1,000, and then they had to quit. They're like, it is no longer safe for us to keep adding weight to this bridge to find out how how long it'll take. So they had two. There was 2 groups that had bridges that held that much weight.
Damn.
That's freaking impressive, man.
It is
And
impressive. I mean, people can surprise you how smart they are.
yeah, yeah. Well, and one of them
Even
that
people who
was
build Lego, you build with Legos.
well, and one of them was like one bridge, or the first bridge that put up there. You could tell those guys, like one of the guys had some engineering background, because it was a full like truss span on the top, and then it also had like some, I can't remember what kind of support it had on the bottom, but it was almost like a double truss. Like you could see this bridge built in real life. But then the other group that held this much weight, theirs was built like very pretty and artsy, and it looked very creative and not very engineering. But engineering, that's a new word. I've got full of new words today. Um,
It's
you know,
quarantine. We can make stuff up now.
but yeah, it held just as much weight as the one that looked like it was engineered to perfection. So it was really really fun to watch. So great show. Highly recommend it. Go watch Lego Masters. That was not on my list to talk about today, but you brought it up.
Hey, we're just making this up as we go, so why
Yeah,
not?
I mean, hey. But what I have been watching is on Amazon Prime. I watched the show Hunters. I have finished Hunters. This originally came out in February 21st of this year, so just a little over a month ago. I finished it this last week. Um, the series is it's inspired by a real number of Nazi hunters that happened throughout the 70s, but this is not a nonfiction tale. This is based off of those, but um, not accurate. So it's just kind of used those as a general idea. So what it is it follows a band of Nazi hunters during 1977 New York City. Uh, they're not all Jewish, but a majority of them are. A lot of them are just of there's a black girl in it. There's a like a almost like an Asian American. So they're all people that the Nazis would have not liked anyway. Didn't fit the Aryan race. So it's these group of people that are hunting Nazis that have been hidden in the United States or hiding in the United States. And in a parallel kind of course, these Nazis are trying to they're trying to create a Fourth Reich. So they're basically trying to take over the United States, killing off a bunch of people and basically recreating the Reich. And there are lots of twists and turns in this. It is not as straightforward as it seems. The I was enjoying it for the first the probably the first half of it. I was really enjoying it, and then as it got farther and farther in, I was still enjoying it, but man, was it going in like it was starting to go in different directions and different side plots and things like that were going on. And then the last episode happened. And the last episode um, took this whole thing in a direction that I was not anticipating.
Oh,
I,
really?
I was already frustrated, and I was getting frustrated because the characters that they were having in this were dying. Characters that I really liked were dying. One of them is Saul Rubinek is his name. If you see a picture of him, you'll know exactly who he is. He played Murray Markowitz. He was Artie from Warehouse 13. He was you you see him and you're like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Rubinek is his name, and
Saul Rubinek.
yep, he is, and he is awesome. I love him. But Al Pacino is in this. Um,
I think Al Pacino's um how do I put this? Jewish accent is amazing.
yeah, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know a whole lot of Jewish people that speak like a old English Jewish, like a Jew from 1977. I mean, that's a different Jewish dialect than what you're going to hear now in
It's
Midwest.
more old country sounding, yeah. So that's
Yeah,
like they're from the other side of the ocean, you know.
right. In 2020, they're gonna sound a lot different because they're gonna be here long enough that accent's gonna kind of start going away. But yeah, he does a really good job. The twist, the twist at the end involves him. That's all I'm going to say on it because it is massive. It does set this all up for a second season if they're going to do a second season. I don't know if that's in like on the radar yet or not, but it's gotten decent reviews. It's a 65% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.2 on Metacritic, 55 out of 100. Or I guess that's on Metacritic. It's so I guess
7.2 on IMDb.
there you go. It's middle of the road. I think it's really good, but here's the thing that I'm going to throw out, and I will say this is probably the number one reason why it's not getting better ratings, is it really plays on World War II Nazi Germany. What the Jews went through. I mean, Al Pacino's character, Meyer Offerman, and Logan Learman, his character, he's a high school kid. Uh, his grandmother and Al Pacino's character were basically they survived the Holocaust. They fell in love in a concentration camp, and like so these two are um they're now they're not together when the show starts and all of that kind of develops, so I kind of broke some of the twist in it, but those like they go back and show scenes of these two surviving and what they had to do and the torture, some of the torture that they went through, and it's it is graphic at times. It is times when there were parts where I had to just kind of like grit my teeth and get through it. Um, it's it is not uh, it is not for the faint of heart. And if
No,
you
it's
have
not.
yeah, and if you have any connections to anything that's happened in that time, yeah, I could see it being really really hard to watch. Um, But with that being said, it is really good. It is really good. There is no way this could be shown on anything other than these streaming services, Netflix, Amazon Prime, something like that. It has to be it. They put big warnings at the beginning of this thing that is, hey, this is viewer discretion is advised, 18 plus on this thing, and I absolutely agree with that 100%. If this could not be shown on anything other than HBO, Netflix, or Amazon Prime, something that doesn't have to go through the rating system that everything else does. Um, but
Yeah, just the opening scene alone will blow you away.
yeah,
And it's not for the faint of heart at all.
yeah, no. So I think it's really good. The twists and turns that it goes through and what they're gonna do. How the Nazis are going to um like going to poison everybody. I really kind of want to know if this was actually a case or not. I don't think it was. I don't think it would have been, but it really kind of fits with things that you hear about now and concerns people have with not necessarily the virus that we're dealing with right now, but more just health concerns in general across the board. So it was kind of interesting with the way they did that. I thought that was really good. I thought I thought the show is definitely worth a watch if you can handle it. Try it out episode by episode, but if you want to see some amazing storytelling, you could probably skip, well, realistically, you could skip through every parts where they flash back to Nazi Germany. Those are not the best parts of the show. They're important to get to know the characters and for character development, but that's about it. They don't help move the plot along other than describe some of the people that they're trying to hunt and find. So that's
Yeah, we tried to watch it. The subject matter is something my wife cannot watch.
yeah,
So it's going to be one of those shows I'm going to have to watch on my own, which there's a lot of those. So it's no different than a lot of shows. But yeah, it's stuff like that. It blows me away that there's people out there that can subscribe to that kind of thinking.
yeah, yeah,
You know, we people base beliefs on others on arbitrary things.
mm-hmm,
You know, where you were born, who your parents were, arbitrary shit.
yeah,
This white supremacist could have easily been born in Africa. You
yep,
know, it's crazy that people can't see that shit. You know, they just want somebody, I guess, to blame for stuff. I don't know what's going on in people's
yeah.
heads, but
I I don't either. They, and there's interesting parts in this because there's another character. I know you kind of watched the first episode. There's another character that's involved there. Well, actually, he's in the first episode. He's the guy who comes to kind of clean up from the first
the
that
younger
first
guy,
scene. Yeah, the younger guy. He's not. He's American. He's just born in the United States and not old enough to be from Germany during that time. He just believes that stuff, and it's the way he goes throughout the story is very interesting, and the way his story ends, it doesn't even end. It pauses essentially. Um, that's it's not much of a spoiler. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that. He gets captured. The hunters have a chance to kill him. Uh, but they don't. They let the FBI take him and put him in jail. And he's sitting in interrogation, and he basically just says, "Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna be here." And then you see a scene where his parents come to see him, and they're like, "What did we do wrong?" And he starts breaking down crying, and you're like, this is the first time you ever see emotion out of this guy at all. And he's like, there's something wrong with me. This place is terrible. I need to get out of here. And he he tells them that, hey, find me the best lawyer. You should get me one of these Jewish lawyers. I've heard they're the best. And the moment he says that, you think that he's had a change of heart and that he's realized that he's doing the wrong thing, and then you hear that, and you the moment they, like, he has this look in his eye like he's smarter than everybody else. He's playing them just like he's played everyone through this entire season. And they bring the lawyer in, and the lawyer's like, all right, if we do this, we plead, insanity, we can get you out of here, we can get you in a better place. And he's like, I didn't bring you here to, this crying guy is all gone. He's straight face, no emotion. He's like, I didn't bring you here to get out of here. I brought you here so I can stay. And the lawyer looks at him like, what in the world are you talking about? And he's like, I am surrounded by people that are simple minded, that can be swayed and melded however I want. And all they're looking for is somebody to blame for all their problems. He's like, I'm exactly where I need to be. And he kills the lawyer right there in the jail, like in the prison room, across the table, in a jail cell that's open and everybody around him can see him, and he basically just starts cheering it on, and they, uh, he, it's like it's that point where you're like, oh man, this has to have been what it was like back, when Hitler was coming to power. I mean, this is basically Hitler reincarnated, and it's kind of scary how easily something like this could happen, even even today, even in the world now.
Yeah, especially what's going on in today's times. It's just scary, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, yeah, yes, it is. But hey, I I think it's really good. I think it's a really good show. I think it's worth a watch if you can handle the material. That's what I'll go with. Worth a watch if you can handle the situation. So that's my thought on Hunters on Amazon Prime. What have you been watching
All
there, Kip?
right. Well, we've also been watching something on Amazon Prime. Um, I think its sixth season is getting ready to start, and it's Bosch.
Bosh.
Bosch. Based on the books written by Michael Connolly, starring Titus Welliver as the title character, Hieronymus Bosch, or as everybody calls him, Harry Bosch. Um, it is a really well done cop show. Um, he is not your average detective. He rubs people the wrong way. He may bend the rules a little bit, but he always gets the bad guy. He's always under suspicion. There's always somebody in the department that wants him out. But he keeps solving all the crimes and getting shit done. Um, he deals with some pretty tough police subjects, I guess the best way to put it. Dirty cops, um, actually good cops who are just reckless, those kinds of things. The first season, he has a girlfriend who's also a cop. There's some issues there. He has to deal with that. Um, he was involved in a shooting, and of course, the family of the person that he shot sues him. So he has to be in court over what the department has called a I guess justified shooting, a good shooting, they or whatever they call it. So he's dealing with that. Plus, he's got a killer that he's got to find, and it's a lot. And normally, I hate shows that deal with too many issues at one time, but the way they handle it on this show really works. And I can't recommend it enough. Really, it's just one of those shows you're watching it and you're like, damn, this is just really good. It's just really well done. I don't want to talk too much about the storyline or anything like that. I don't want to give anything away, but he's his mom was a prostitute. She got murdered, so he went through the system. And
Okay.
so, as he put it, it depends on what dog you fed. It depends on what kind of person you become. You got the dog that wants to do the right thing, and the dog that wants to just you know blame everybody else and, and throw, just do all the wrong things. And as he puts it, it depends on which one of those dogs you fed. He goes, I fed the right dog. So, he becomes a cop. He bends the rules, but he's also so morally right that when somebody else screws up, you kind of feel like it's almost like they disappoint. The worst part about it is disappointing him.
Hmm. Yeah.
He's one of those cops, the way he's portrayed anyway. He's just one of those people that if you knew that person, you would always be trying to live up to that example. Does that make any sense? Do you know
Yeah.
people like that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he's that guy.
That's cool.
He does everything the right way. As far as ethics and morals go, that he's just an example.
Right.
And that's the best way I can put it. Like I said, he will do a few things that bends the rules. Like he lets himself into somebody's house, finds evidence that would basically get this person convicted, but he can't use it. But then he finds another reason for them to get a search warrant and search the place, so he knows exactly where to look. So he bent the rules a little bit, but he
Yeah.
didn't break them.
Right.
Yeah,
He
that
didn't
kind of
go,
thing.
yeah, he didn't break into their house, take that information and then, try to get it through the system by, false means. He goes back and does it the right way and gets what he,
Yeah,
his moral compass doesn't allow him to cheat. It just allows him to bend the rules just enough. And I like that kind of stuff. This is a show that I thought, like, when it came out, it originally was released in 2014. Like, it was one I saw. I'm like, man, that looks really good. But then I just didn't have the time to watch it, to add it to the list of to shows that I was watching at the time. And there weren't services like Amazon Prime out there that had all the old episodes. And so, in a show like this, you kind of want to watch all of them. You could probably jump in at any point and watch them, but yeah, this is definitely one I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch, or I'll go back and watch all of these. And um,
yeah. What's funny about it is, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, we watched the first two seasons and got started on season three, and then just kind of stopped.
yeah,
And then when we decided to go back, it's like, well, if we're going to go back, let's just rewatch season one and two. So we did. And luckily for me, I'm one of those people that if I've seen something once and then I watch it again, it's like I'm seeing the movie again for the first time because I don't remember all the little details and everything. I just kind of remember the framework.
yeah,
So rewatching the first two seasons is like I you just I must have said this like 20 times to my wife while we were watching it. You just forget how good this show really is.
yeah. Well, it's nice. They're only 10 episode seasons, so you can. I mean, so five seasons. There's only 50 episodes. That's not too many to be able to get through. Sixth season. It is set to air April of this year, so we're looking at only a couple weeks away before the sixth season. Uh,
Yeah, and during a quarantine, you can knock 50 episodes out in a pretty quick time.
right, right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, the show struck a chord so much with us that when they announced that we had to shelter in place, my wife called Half Price Books, and Michael Connolly wrote the books for Bosch, and she just called him up. They did curbside delivery, and she's like, just give me all the Michael Connolly books you have. Don't want any duplicates, just all the copies that you have. So
that's
she ended up
funny.
getting 19 books, so that's pretty awesome.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
the interesting part on that, which I did not realize, um, you would think that something like this, you just go like book one, book two, book three. When I was looking at the Wikipedia page before the show, It's like, oh, season 1 is based on book 3, book 8, and book 12. Season 2 is book 4 and book 5. Season 3 is book 1, 7, and 15. Like, 4 is book 6. Season 5 is book 20. Like, holy cow, like, that's kind of awesome that the stories that he wrote in a book form can just be, they can like that. Talk about a series that you could go and read from book 1 to, what I think he's written, what did it say, 31 books, 31 novels that
31,
he's
something like
written.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't know how many of them have Harry Bosch in them, or that he's the,
Well, not all of them, but quite a
but
few.
yeah, but man, that could yeah, that's kind of cool that it kind of bounces around like that. I think
Yeah.
that's really neat.
The interesting part about that is in season one, uh, he meets this female cop, takes her back to his place, and she's like, "This is a hell of a view for a LAPD detective." And he's like, "Well, they made a movie based on my life that paid for this." And then he pointed to the movie poster, and the movie was called The Black Echo. So the first season is based on book 3 or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, book 3. Uh huh.
Season 3 is based off of book 1, which is called The Black Echo.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty good.
That is really cool. That is really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go watch these. Adding it.
Yeah, I recommend it. Titus Welliver is awesome. One of the cool things about it is when they do flashbacks to when he was 12 years old, the kid who plays the 12-year-old him is his son in real life.
Oh, very
So
cool.
that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that
So,
is cool.
I like stuff like that,
Yeah.
and he just plays this guy who holds his cards very close to the vest, so you never really can tell what he's thinking. And I think in his presence, you'd constantly feel like you're being judged, but I don't know, just the way he plays that character is awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna add it to my Amazon Prime list. Add it to my watch list. So
Do it now.
that's what I'm gonna do. All right. Well, I think that just about does it. I'm gonna save my Assassin's Creed talk for next week. We've already almost gone an hour, so I do want to talk about that. I'll let everybody know I'm 7 hours, about 7 hours, 7.5 hours into the game. I think it's a blast. I think it's a lot of fun. Definitely got a learning curve for the controls, especially after playing Witcher. Completely different controls, but um, not hard to pick up and learn. Just takes some getting used to. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that, and it's uh, kind of the way RPG games like this action adventure RPG game, kind of open world, like Witcher, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I haven't played Assassin's Creed or Origins, which is the ancient Egypt one, but it is similar in the framework of an open world RPG type thing. I kind of want to talk a little bit about how that gameplay is getting set up and what it's kind of doing there. So we'll save that for
Yeah,
next
next week we'll
week.
do video game talk.
There you go. I like that idea. I like that idea. Yeah, because I'm sure I'll have a couple of them that I can talk about too. So
Bam.
playing some video games, veggie games, but all right, yeah, video game talk next week. But in the meantime, you know the drill, everybody. Go check out our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekvice. You can follow that man over there at Kip Killigan. You can follow me at Geekvice, both of those on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram at Geekvice. You can go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go search for Kip Morph on YouTube. That's the easiest way to find us. And of course, as always, you can reach us by email at geekvice@gmail.com. Thanks everyone for listening to our ramblings, and we will see you next week.
This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.